Do you notice yourself finding it hard to pay attention or feeling the need to always move around? Do you notice these things characteristic in others around you? These issues might make it hard for you to focus while in class. These issues could help be a sign of ADHD. ADHD is very common and doesn't just affect children. ADHD symptoms begin in childhood but can continue throughout adulthood. I have been researching ADHD a lot this past week, and I've become very knowledgeable about ADHD and the ways we can help treat this disorder. Today, I'll be sharing what ADHD is, the symptoms of ADHD, and what we can do to help people with ADHD. So first, I'm going to talk about what ADHD is. ADHD is short for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and it is a neurodevelopment disorder that mostly occurs in children, but can be diagnosed in adults. So I have a video I'm going to show. So what is ADHD? According to Healthline.com, males are almost 3 times more likely to get diagnosed with ADHD than females. The average age of ADHD diagnosis is about 7 years old. Symptoms can begin to appear anywhere between 3 to 6 years though. ADHD doesn't affect just children, however. About 4% of Americans over the age of 18 have to deal with ADHD. According to researchers at National Institute of Mental Health and National Institutes of Health, recent research has found that ADHD may cause by interactions between genes or your environment or non-genetic factors. There are many other factors that can contribute to ADHD, like genes, alcohol, or drugs. Use of drugs during pregnancy, exposure to environmental toxins at young age, brain injury, or it can also be hereditary. There are also things that people claim cause ADHD, but they really don't. Some examples could be sugar, TV, poor schools, and some food allergies. Now that I've talked to you about a little bit of what ADHD is, I'm going to talk to you about the symptoms of ADHD. Now, there are many symptoms of ADHD, but those symptoms don't always mean you have ADHD. According to ACAP.org, there are 3 primary symptoms of ADHD: hyperactivity, impulsive, and inattentive. When someone is hyperactive, they always seem to be moving. These children are hyperactive and touch anything and everything that's around. They talk nonstop, move nonstop, and wiggle and tap their feet all the time. An adult or teenager who is hyperactive may feel restless and need to stay busy all the time. The second one I'm going to talk to you about is inattentive. They might get bored very quickly, and if they aren't active or doing something, they want to be doing something. At any age, an inattentive person can be very distracted very easily, make careless mistakes, forget things, skip from one activity to another without finishing the last. And they will always have problems following instruction. The last one I'm going to talk to you about is impulsive. Often blurt out things without thinking about what they're going to say. They display emotion without restraint and fail to consider the consequences of their actions. Impulsive children might find it hard to wait in line or take turns. And impulsive teenagers and adults tend to make choices that have smaller, immediate payoff rather than working towards a larger reward that takes longer to achieve. Many people have these symptoms, but they don't actually have ADHD. They have to meet two main criteria. The behaviors must appear before the age of 7 and continue for at least 6 months. Symptoms must also create a real issue in the two areas of the child's life. For example, if a child seems hyperactive on a playground but not anywhere else, then they probably don't have ADHD. So after talking to you about the symptoms, I'm going to talk to you about some of the treatments there are for ADHD. So ADHD is a disorder that can never fully be cured. There are still some treatments that can manage it. According to WebMD.com, medications is one form of treatment that can help with ADHD. Medications can help hyperactive and impulsive behavior and increase attention span. Some medications include Focalin, Adderall, and Strattera. Another type of treatment is therapy. Either you can have a support group. This just allows the child to talk with others. Therapy will focus on changing the behavior and includes special education and behavior modification. Counseling and social skills training is another thing that they'll talk about in therapy. Support groups consist of people with similar problems and the needs that can help acceptance and support. They're helpful for adults with ADHD or parents of children with ADHD. They can provide a way to learn more about ADHD and what it consists of. So, in conclusion, I've talked to you about what ADHD is, the symptoms of ADHD, and how you can treat it. There have been over 6 million American children ages 4 to 17 diagnosed with ADHD, even though there isn't a cure. There are many treatments that can help ADHD manageable. Next time you see a child acting out or struggling in school, don't be quick to judge because there is a good chance they're struggling with ADHD.